Hey everyone. So right off the bat, this is a re-upload of one of my old videos from my main channel, and this is one of the videos that recently just got deleted and given a community guidelines strike for cyberbullying, harassment, hate speech, and glorifying violence against protected groups. And as you watch through this entire live stream presentation, it has nothing of the sort. It's nothing but linguistic symbolism, etymology, and science related content, just basic educational content. And they removed it for a false community guidelines strike. And so my main channel was terminated once again, as many of you guys already know by now. So I do actually am asking and am greatly thankful for all of you guys who have stepped up and supported me over the years on Patreon, Subscribestar. I do need your financial support at this time. I have to state that outright. I need to get up to be quite frank. I'm at about 500 a month, and that's not enough for me to continue to live on and do this work full time. So we need to cross the threshold of at least 1,000 a month. So I do need you guys' financial support. We got to get it up to over 1,000 a month. For me to continue to do this full time. So with that said, let's continue on to the full presentation. You'll see just how ridiculous it is that they called this cyberbullying and harassment and hate speech and glorifying violence, and they gave it a strike and removed the video. So you're going to see the quality of the content of the video, which is nothing of the sort. So thank you so much, and let's move on. Alright guys, we should be live. Let me know how everything is working. Let's see if you guys can hear me, and go ahead and I want you guys to give me some feedback on audio quality. Again, since this is my second live stream, our second official Lifting the Veil live stream. So again, I want you guys to notify me if first of all, let's lay the ground rules and lay out the technicalities and everything. So first off, my internet connection is extremely slow where I'm located. I'm basically in the hill country, and so my internet connection is extremely slow, so there could be stream failures. There could be, all sorts of technical difficulties that could come up throughout the stream. So if, we get cut off or anything like that, I will go ahead and start the stream once again and do all I can to make sure that the stream continues. So just so that you guys know, let me know if you're having any technical issues. Let me know. Also, a problem that tends to pop up is screen latency. So in other words, if the video isn't synced up with the audio, let me know and I'll see what I can do to sync it up as best as I can. I haven't actually run a test run of the stream to make sure that the video quality and the sync quality and everything is all up to spec. So I haven't done any of that stuff yet. So sorry to have to, waste your guys' time right off the bat with, the technicalities. And also the way the stream is going to work is super chat donations will be put first priority. Number one, because there will be so many questions that will be coming up, and I have slowed down the chat on screen to where you guys should be, to where we should be able to monitor the questions as they come in. But you never know, sometimes they come fast and furious. So super chat donations always get priority. They pop up on my screen, so that way I have them archived, so that way they do take first priority. So those are the topics that we will discuss, or the questions that I will answer first. First and foremost, last week's live stream unfortunately got cut off basically midstream, and I didn't even realize that it was that. What it was is I had my settings set to where I had a hotkey to where if I hit the enter key, it would cut the stream. And so I was typing in a search to show you guys something on screen, and it ended up cutting the stream, and I had no idea. I wasn't even monitoring the chat.
And so I ended up rambling, well, not rambling, but that's when I was really starting to get into the actual, the meat and potatoes, so to speak, or, for our vegan audience, for just the rice and beans of the content. And so, yeah, so I was just getting on a roll, and I realized I had been, going on for about 45 minutes at least, basically off air, just to myself. So that was great. I felt like a total idiot. But yeah, so those are some of the things that, we're going to get worked out, and the issues and the bugs that are going to get smoothed out. These live streams are going to get better and better as they go along. And as I, am starting to master more of the technology, for those of you that don't know me, I'm extremely technologically inept. So I'm still trying to work through all of that stuff. The internet connection definitely doesn't help. So those are the ground rules. That's basically how it's going to work. If you guys, again, if you don't know how super chats work, you should see it in the live stream chat there. If you do anything like that, it will pop up on the feed first and foremost, and it will be archived on my screen. So that way I have all your questions and your topics that you want to discuss will be archived. So that way I won't miss anything along the way. So hopefully that should be a good system, and that should work. Okay, so far it says the audio quality is good, video quality is good, stream quality is very laggy. Yes, I know, unfortunately, that's just how it goes with my internet connection speed. I'm only at not even 20 megabytes per second, is it download speed, and like 2 megabytes per second upload speed, which is ungodly. I mean, it's like caveman slow, so yeah, that's no good. But yeah, we'll make do with what we got. So I'm just kind of, shooting the breeze here to start off as everyone sort of gets acquainted into the room, and we'll go ahead and get this stream rolling with some of the content, because I don't want to bore a lot of my audience, especially if you guys are tuning in for the first time. Welcome to Lifting the Veil. My name is Cullen Smith. What we cover here is we cover a lot of deep, cutting-edge esoterica, symbolism, linguistics, mythology, theology, astrotheology, astronomy, all aspects of different branches of science, whether it's, showing the latest discoveries from, in plasma physics and fringe areas of science, things like that, as well as one of my main passions is health and biology, as well as anatomy. So those are some of the main topics that we cover on the channel here. So you guys, I would prefer if you bring up any of those topics, preferably from some of the past videos that I've covered, or some of the topics that that I write about on a frequent basis, or that I presented in some of my articles, or in some of the full films or the presentations, or basically, any of the general content that you can find on my channel. Those are more of the things I would like to discuss, but I'm doing these live streams for you guys, so this can be whatever, wherever you want to, however you want to take it, wherever you want it to go. And I reserve the rights to, answer whatever questions that I see fit, and ignore whatever questions that, basically I don't feel are relevant to, to the stream that we're doing at the time, or whatever. So, I do withhold those rights. And for any of you guys that I may recognize that are, good friends of the channel, and some of my colleagues and stuff, let me know if you want to, if you're interested in me adding you as a moderator for the chat. That way you can, maybe help keep track of some of the more important questions that we can cover, and some of the more important things, as well as monitoring for, I'm not really worried about trolls or anything. It's automatically set to where, anything profane or vulgar, anything like that will be automatically screened, just because I do hope to monetize these live streams and these broadcasts, and I do hope to keep them family friendly, which a lot of my presentations and a lot of my videos are not, but I'm trying to move into that way. It's more acceptable for a broader audience for any time of the day, whether you're in the car, taking the kids, to whatever, soccer practice or anything like that. That way it can, more people can absorb the content wherever they are, if you're on the go or however that works. So all of that aside, okay, so that's basically should take care of all of the intro stuff. Speaking of intro, for those of you guys. All right, so, and also I do have a, let's see here. I decided, let me know if there is a, if the backtracking is too intrusive or too invasive. I do like to include multimedia stuff in my presentation, so let me know if any of that is intrusive or anything, and that way I can address that as it comes up. Okay, so let's monitor the chat here. Let's get right into it. Let's get into some content. So let's see what we got. Hey everybody. Hey Sharda. So glad to see you. Glad you're sticking around and always active on what I got going on. So hey everybody. Ashtar, hey, good to see you as well. Sorry for those of you guys who I'm not familiar with yet, but we'll get to know each other along the way. Edward, yeah, good to see you, man. Okay, Sandman, good to see you as well. I recognize most of you guys here. I do try to interact with a lot of you guys as much as possible. That way, you know, I know you as much as you know me. I don't want this to be, you know, just a... I don't want my channel to be about cult of personality. That's one of the main things. I haven't done a video on that yet, but I want that to be a major topic that we're going to address. I've got my friend Carrie McCarthy. She's got a great YouTube channel. Also deals with a lot of that stuff about culture, society, especially cult of personality, social media, influences on society, things like that. And I talked to her. We were supposed to actually get on together yesterday and have a discussion and a chat. But yeah, we still haven't actually connected yet. So and also I've been talking to a lot more of my other friends, and we're gonna, so this is gonna be, number one, it's gonna be a weekly live stream that we're doing here at 3 p.m. on Sundays, and then I'm gonna start trying to broadcast daily. That way you guys can, you know, we can keep up with more of what's going on. I haven't done current events or anything like that on my channel, and I usually try to steer away from current events unless it's something really deeply symbolic, or, you know, it's something more macrocosmic, not just like, you know, geopolitics or whatever. But also I want to note right off the bat was last week, one of the main things that I started going on, that really a great question that for the most part it started off really slow, sort of irrelevant type questions and input that sort of, you know, just got me going. But we didn't really start getting into the actual, you know, deep content until someone asked a good question about Freemasonry and do Freemasons worship Lucifer. And that was, you know, actually a good question where I really could expand and open up, and I could go through all my graphics and, you know, a lot of my previous presentations and articles and things like that, because that's a really rich and a really deep subject matter and a really important subject matter to address as well. So I did all of that, and basically that's everything that got cut out. That was when I really started getting onto a roll about that. So I was thinking maybe of starting off with that here today, but I'd rather just start off with, we'll see what comes up along the way. So yeah, let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Sandman, the pyramids are fake, bud. Okay, that's a huge thing. That, no offense, but I like to harp on everyone touting that narrative, especially on Lifting the Veil Facebook page, which I've gotten quite a bit, is, yeah, everything's a hoax now, right? You know, everything's a Freemasonic hoax. Dinosaurs are fake, they never existed. Pyramids are fake, they're only 100 years old, constructed by the Freemasons, even though we've got documented history going back decades at least, of actual drawings of the pyramids, although there are various different depictions, and artists back then were not very good, in various locations. But yeah, pyramids are a worldwide phenomenon. They're not just in Egypt. They're South American pyramids, Asian pyramids, pyramids of China, the supposed alleged Bosnian pyramids, but Samir Osmanovic or whatever, Dr. Robert Schoch has gone and analyzed that. A lot of people have actually, you know, outed Sam, I forget his last name, Sam, as being less than incredulous, should we say, and not exactly trustworthy. And honestly, I trust Robert Schoch's research and his credibility a lot more than someone who is looking for tourism and things like that. So interesting, you know, topics. Yeah, about the pyramids. Yeah, good input, but yeah, the pyramids are definitely not a hoax. I'm sorry to break it to you, but they are not. And no offense, you know, I don't want to, you know, hurt anyone's feelings or anything, and I don't want to, you know, I'm gonna be real here, guys. I'm not gonna pander to my, you know, to my audience, and I'm not gonna try to please you guys or anything like that. I'm gonna state things as I understand them, as I know them, and as we can actually back them up. So yeah, if you have a good case for that, then I don't know, maybe you could come on and we could address that topic specifically. But yeah, the pyramids are definitely not a hoax, and dinosaurs definitely existed, because yeah. So yeah, that's I'm sorry, but that's absolutely ridiculous. So let's see what else we got here. Let's see what we got. All flat and level, yeah, whatever. Okay, we're getting into more flat Earth stuff. Let's see what else we got. Let's see if any. Let me check my things here. Do I have an option to monitor this? No, I don't. Okay. All right. Well, caveman. Okay. Sandman. Sandman is apparently just like trolling the thread. Everything's a hoax. Stream's running downhill, mate. Better watch yourself. I might put someone as a moderator to make sure that you're not a hoax. Oh, okay. So what do you believe was the primary, Andrew Weber? What do you believe was the primary use of the pyramids at Giza? That's a good question. There are lots of good theories and lots of whole channels dedicated to that topic. You guys are probably most familiar with the most popular, absolutely blew up out of nowhere in no time at all, is Bright Insight. I don't necessarily agree with most of the stuff that he covers, and actually a lot of it is actually unfortunately pretty historically inaccurate. And a guy that I would recommend is actually a very adept builder, a very adept, I don't know if he's a stonemason, but yeah, he's very good at actually building things with his hands. He knows a lot about actually ancient construction technologies and lifting technologies and things like that. But as far as the pyramids, you know, none of us can really say for certain. None of us are certain, but we know that the pyramids are a definite resonant structure, and it's the symbolic structure of the construction itself. The pyramids are always built on top of an aquifer, and this ties into Wilhelm Reich's orgonomy, and tying into basically the Earth's energies of the negative ionic charge of things like flowing water through underground aquifers and underground streams, and which emit a negative ionic charge, which actually it produces an electrostatic effect, which can ultimately be harnessed through the ambient energy of the atmosphere itself. And you know, Graham Hancock discussed that when he visited the pyramids, and I forget who it is, if it was himself or someone else that he was talking about. Actually, you know, they got to the top of the pyramid, and you know, someone was chasing them down to the top. They weren't supposed to, you know, obviously you're not supposed to go up there, but ended up getting an electrostatic shock, and you know, the guys basically, you know, thought it was witchcraft or sorcery or whatever, and you know, ran off. You know, basically got shocked with the thunderbolts of the gods, so to speak, with the, you know, Indra's thunderbolt, you know, Promethean fire, so to speak, technology of the gods, you know, harnessing ambient electric energy. So that's ultimately what it could be. Could be, sound resonant chambers for sound healing. Could be all of these things, but it's definitely an energetic principle. And when we get to the actual mathematics and the geometric, foundations, to the cosmic constants of the pyramids themselves, given the ratios, the 7-11 ratio of the pyramids to, I don't know math, and the numbers aren't my strong suit, aren't my specialty. So I'm not going to pretend like I know, much about that, but there are very, very great, mathematicians and people who are actual architects and engineers and do know a lot of that stuff. So I'm not the expert on that, but yeah, the pyramids are definitely an energetic phenomenon. Basically the coffer on the inside of the pyramid was used as an initiation. I'm fully, I take the full stance of the pyramids being a symbolic initiation, basically a mystery temple, so to speak. These were not tombs whatsoever, and there's no evidence whatsoever of them ever being tombs. No evidence of sarcophagi or anything inside the actual pyramids, other than the one coffer, which is it's a box, which most people like to say it housed the Ark of the Covenant and all of these things. But whether it was a literal thing, it's actually a symbolic resonance, which, as I've covered in the Symbols of Power Part 2 series, is what it was is it's an initiation rite. Okay, so with all of these, the pyramid is basically, it's the mythological archetype or the mythological resonance of the sacred mount, of the world pillar, the world mountain, the axis mundi, which is correspondent with the human body, with the macrocosm itself as the axis mundi of the earth, which is the actual polar axis of the earth, which corresponds to the Great Pyramid, which is located at the very center of all the world's landmass. And so it's the geographic center of basically of the world. And in the sense of the world's geographic, landmass, I could pull up some images here. But I don't want to get, too deep in that. I'll try and skim over some of the questions. That way we can, address more of you guys as it goes along. But yeah, so the pyramids, it corresponds mythologically to what I'm covering right now with the full film about the Navigating the Maze, the Labyrinth of Consciousness, and that full film is going a lot deeper into some of this stuff about the actual esoteric archetypes and the allegories of the certain motifs about the underworld, going into the underworld of initiation, as all creation goes from darkness into light. So things come from the underworld of, the underworld of the goddess, from the goddess womb, from the goddess Yoni. All things emerge forth from the sacred cave of Gaia, the caverns, the taverns, the cavernosum, corpus cavernosum of the female anatomy, female genitalia, which I'm covering a lot more in the new Symbols of Power Part 4 film that I'm doing also. I could pull up graphics for all of these things, but I don't have all these already queued in my stream, so I don't want to waste too much time with filler trying to bring these things up. So I'll basically, and I want these to be a lot more, easy for me to just speak my mind, without having to make everything 100%, watertight and making it all completely 100% credible and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but yeah, so it's the initiation of the underworld. That's what the flowing of the caverns of underground, the aquifers underneath the pyramids, because they produce this negative ionic charge. The flowing of the water against the sandstone rock produces a strong, especially limestone rock also produces a strong, I don't want to say a piezoelectric effect, but it's an ambient, it's an electrostatic effect. Basically, the water flowing creates this negative ionic charge, which charges these areas which promote health and well-being, and things begin to flourish. The cellular structure, the cellular memory, the morphic resonance, the morphogenetic resonance of certain bodies begin to restructure themselves. As the Russian pyramid experiments have shown how extinct species of flowers, and you can preserve organic material, organic matter within the pyramidal structure itself, because of this negative ionic charge. This energetic field it's negentropic, meaning it's the life force, it's the implosive force, the life-giving force, the feminine force of physics, which all of our mainstream modern science completely ignores. Our mainstream science is only focusing on one aspect of science, which is the masculine, which is the explosive, the destructive, the entropic force, which is the death force, the death side of physics, the expansion, the expanding universe, the Big Bang. All of these just completely polarized, one-sided, basically fallacies of the complete negation of the feminine force of life itself and of nature, of the principle of regeneration, of the genitive principle, which is, again, I've covered all of these in the Symbols of Power film series as well, much more in depth and a lot more descriptive. So, this is nothing new that we're talking about here. But yeah, I'm glad that, these sort of topics can bring up a lot more, and that'll bring up something for me to flow on. That's the thing is I've got all this stuff that I want to present and that I want to talk about, but I have a big issue, a big struggle with actually, coming up with something off the top of my head, to either talk about. That's why I've been so reluctant to do these live streams and to do broadcasts, and people have been, encouraging me I should do a podcast, I should do a show, and all this stuff to cover all this stuff. And, I like the idea. I've liked the idea. I've been wanting to do it for so long, but my hindrance to, why I've withheld myself from doing that is because of the fact that I can't really think of anything to talk off of, to talk about off the top of my head. So that's why I like this, is because I can use you guys as my muse. Anytime someone brings something up or asks me questions, that's when it really gets things going. So, gets the gears working. So that's what I really enjoy most. So without, again, going too far, I can go on and on and on, ramble about so many different things. And I'm sorry, I apologize for getting so off track off of so many things. That's number one, is because I didn't have any time sitting down to meditate and, calm and center myself and gather my thoughts to make sure that I'm, my thoughts are sort of all over the place, mostly on the technological side. At least I've got the stream somewhat down now, so I'm not, basically worried about that. So yeah, so that way we can focus on more of the content. So yeah, let's get some more good insights from you guys. Let me scroll back up to what else we got here. Let's see what else we got. Let's see, where was I? Okay, so that was Andrew Weber. Thanks for the good question, Andrew. I am here is here. Carter McLussell, what is the symbolism of Hermes and the knowledge he is credited with bringing to humanity? Well, Hermes Trismegistus is, the thrice great, the thrice born, which is the aspect of the Trinity, said to be such because of his supposed alleged previous incarnations as Thoth the Atlantean, or in Kemetic is Jehudi, Tehudi, Yahudi. But yeah, and the knowledge he is credited with bringing to humanity. It's basically the same mythological archetype as Prometheus of the Greeks, of the Promethean fire, the fire from the gods. And I went off on a huge, tangent on this last week, and that's part of the huge thing that got cut out for the 45 minutes that wasn't on the stream, was I was covering all this in relation to Lucifer, and to the question that someone brought up about, do the Freemasons worship Lucifer? And the answer is yes, but it's a lot more complex than that. There's video footage and certain things of, people being, certain high-level Freemasons, or I forget who, but influential figures, being asked about the topic of Lucifer, and, he's like, yeah, of course, Lucifer, yes, and basically referring it to, likening it to the epithet of Christ, or Jesus, as the morning star, Lucifer, son of the morning, son of the dawn. And we'll be getting much deeper into this in future presentations. I've got a full presentation on